Welcome to the deep dive. So you've brought us a fascinating part of the story today, chapter 14. We're looking at, well, two completely different breakthroughs happening almost at the same time.
Yeah, it's this incredible contrast. You've got one that's all about polished manners and old maps,
Yeah.
and the other is just dirt, sweat, and a huge bet on a softball field.
And that's our mission for this deep dive. We're going to unpack how they managed to connect these ancient property rights dots and then immediately use this super intense personal showdown to find the last piece of the puzzle.
It's all about that convergence.
Okay, let's unpack this.
I mean, it really shows you that sometimes the biggest aha moments come from, quiet academic research, and other times they come from just pure guts.
Or maybe profound public humiliation.
Or that, yeah. So first we'll get into the surprising importance of this tiny little sliver of land they find in a real estate office.
And then the showdown. The
Yeah.
tense meeting with the beast.
Yes.
So let's start with that visit to Reardon Realty. I mean, the setup alone is incredible. This wasn't just a casual visit.
No, it was a full-on performance.
Right.
A costume and everything.
Right. Kyle, Salvo, and Todd, they ditch their usual look. They're in long-sleeve, button-down shirts,
Tucked in.
tucked into slacks, and they've got on those, polished Dockers shoes. The source material says they look like 3 miniature versions of their fathers.
And that was the whole point.
Right.
Their cover story about a school project had to be believable. They needed to look serious.
And they committed to the characters. Kyle adopts this, super formal way of speaking. Everything is yes, please. That would be lovely.
Which is funny enough, but Todd takes it to another level.
He does. He's sitting there holding his coffee cup with his pinky finger sticking out,
Mm.
and he calmly stirs 8 packets of sugar into it. 8.
It's just so bizarrely specific. You don't know if he's nervous or if it's just this brilliant piece of improv to make them seem like harmless, overly intense nerds.
Either way, it worked. It completely sold their act. They had their legal pads. They're asking these, red herring questions about zoning laws.
And it gets them in the door with Michael Reardon, who seems totally charmed by them and eager to help.
And he pulls out the key artifact, this huge, yellowed, brittle plot map.
Of the original Tassajara farm. And you have to get the scale of this. This farm was basically the entire town of Alamo before the owner sold it off and got, as the source puts it, stinking rich.
So it's this huge, chaotic map of old property lines. And it's Kyle, who's always so observant, he spots the first real clue.
Yeah, he sees this weird little feature. He calls it a strange, skinny jet out.
A narrow corridor. It just sticks out from the main property for a few hundred yards and then comes back. It makes no sense.
Right. From a modern perspective, it looks like a mistake. But this is where it gets really interesting. Kyle asks why. Why would the property line be drawn like that?
And Reardon explains it wasn't about the land itself.
No. It was a legal necessity. For water. That skinny strip of land was an easement. It was the farm's legal guarantee that they could access their main water supply.
Is that like a straw?
Exactly. It's a legal
Okay.
straw. Without that little corridor, they have no claim to the underground river that fed their entire almond farming operation. No water rights, no business.
Okay, so the old map shows them where the water excess was. The big question is, where is that spot now?
Mhm.
Here's where it gets really interesting. They ask Reardon to trace that old water corridor on a modern map.
And the reveal is just. It's a bombshell. Reardon draws the line, and it cuts right through what is now the Round Hill Country Club.
But they need the exact spot, the end of the corridor, the place where the farm actually got the water.
Right, the access point to that underground river.
There.
And Reardon points to a spot on the map and says it's right about where the driving range is today, right near the parking lot.
You can just feel that jolt of electricity between them. They've found it. They've connected the history to a physical, modern place.
But Salvo, he's thinking one step ahead. He doesn't stop there.
No, he pivots. He asks Reardon, can you show us where the boundaries are for the farmland that still exists today?
Yes, from the massive historical farm to the tiny remnant that's left. And Reardon sketches out these rough, invisible lines of that last remaining piece. And as he draws, he makes this one final, distinct loop.
And that's the second breakthrough.
It is, because Salvo sees that loop and just gasps. He suddenly signals Kyle, that shape is everything.
Why that shape? Why the loop?
Because it's the anchor. When the developers carved up all that valuable land, they left this one irregular piece. It's not a neat square or a rectangle like modern parcels. That loop is the unique geographical signature of the original farm that's left. It's the one thing they can use to orient themselves on the actual ground.
Wow. Okay, so they get all this intel. They thank Mr. Reardon, who's just beaming about their good manners.
And then as they're leaving, Todd realizes the faint L that Eric had drawn on his forehead is still there.
A tiny flaw in a perfect operation.
A small price to pay, I think. But okay, now we have to just completely shift gears. We're leaving this, civilized world of Dockers and coffee.
And we're heading to a dusty softball field at Charlottewood Elementary.
The contrast could not be more extreme.
We go from polite manipulation to a blunt physical confrontation. And we meet Sam, Moush's prized red-headed living anagram.
Or, as she's better known, Sam the Beast. STB.
And she is a beast. The source says she's just dominating on the mound. Her pitching is unreal. 3 straight strikeouts. She's just all confident.
The perfect gatekeeper.
Yeah.
And Moush, he's so nervous, he goes up to her and tries to break the ice.
But then he just blurts out the question, have you ever played a game called the Garden of Eden?
And her entire demeanor changes. The easy confidence just evaporates, and it's replaced by what the source calls genuine sharp surprise.
She knows.
She knows they know, and she immediately understands the leverage she has.
So she makes a bet, a huge one. She says she'll tell them everything if Moush can put just one of her 3 pitches in play.
Which is a massive ask. I mean, we need to talk about the physics here.
Yeah.
She's throwing 60 miles an hour from 40 feet away.
Right, not 60 feet like in baseball.
No. So that shorter distance makes a 60-mile-per-hour softball pitch feel like a 93-mile-per-hour fastball in the majors. You have almost no time to react. It's terrifying.
And just as Moush is about to face this terror, who shows up?
Kyle and Salvo, still dressed in their realty office costumes.
And they immediately start heckling Moush, calling him a terrified baby deer, saying this isn't real baseball.
Big mistake.
Yeah.
A huge mistake. Because Sam hears this, and she just seizes on it. She points at the jerkwads, Kyle and Salvo, and changes the terms. They have to bat.
Kyle tries to get out of it. He points to his Dockers, his corduroys, says they're not dressed for this.
And that's when Sam delivers the final blow, the ultimate provocation. She just looks at them and says, pussies.
And that's it. There's no backing down after that. The bet is on, and it's personal.
So Kyle steps up to the plate, no helmet, full of bravado, and he is just completely and utterly humiliated.
First pitch is a fastball, high and tight. He has to literally throw himself backward into the dirt.
Then she throws him a curveball that just drops off the table. He swings and misses by a mile.
And for the final pitch, the changeup, the ultimate insult.
Exactly. It's maybe 15 miles an hour slower, but it looks just like the curveball coming in. He's so far out in front of it, he practically spins himself into the ground. Strike 3.
Just a complete, embarrassing strikeout. In corduroys.
The shame is palpable, but the bet's still on, so now it's Salvo's turn.
And Salvo steps in. He looks uncomfortable in the clothes, but his face is just unreadable. Sam is furious now. She's pitching with pure anger.
She throws him another inside fastball, expecting him to try and swing away to meet power with power.
But he doesn't. At the very last second, he does something she never expected.
He bunts.
The most frustrating, most technically brilliant move in this situation. A perfect little bunt.
He just makes his little dink sound and rolls lazily down the first base foul line. Perfectly fair.
He won. It's a stunning, infuriating victory.
And Sam just explodes. She rips her glove off, throws it at Salvo, and screams, "You can't fucking bunt."
But Salvo's response is perfect. He's holding her glove, and he just says, so smugly, you didn't say how we had to hit it.
It's tactical genius. It's chaotic. It's humiliating for Kyle, but they won the bet. They got what they needed.
So now they have to process all of this. Todd is worried Sam's still too mad to actually talk to them.
But Eric, he's the smart one. He brings him back to the other piece of news. The realty office.
And it all comes spilling out. The map, the water rights, the driving range.
And Salvo connects the 2 victories. He's still riding high from the bunt, and he grabs a twig, bends down in the dirt of the softball field.
And he draws the map. He draws that distinct loop that Reardon showed them.
This is the fusion moment. He's drawing in the dirt. He marks X's for the places they already know, the house, the old farm equipment. And then, using the geometry of that unique loop, he draws one final X.
And Long is watching this, and suddenly all the pieces just click into place for him. The geography, the visual cues, and he just blurts it out.
That fucking camper shell.
Bingo! The mysterious locked box they've been looking for. The map in the dirt gave them the precise location.
Their entire quest just went from abstract to a concrete physical target. They know exactly where it is.
And right at that exact moment of revelation, Sam rides up on her bike, skids to a stop in a cloud of dust.
She is all business. Still furious about the bunt, but she's going to honor the bet.
She completely ignores Kyle and Salvo. She looks right at Mausch, the one who started it all.
And she gives him the terms,
Hmm?
clipped to the point. Pizza, Tuesday, you get one question.
Wow. So she's not just going to hand over the info, she sets the price. A one-question interview over pizza.
A brilliant power move. She lost the bet, but she still controls the information. And then Salvo throws her glove back.
And for a second, you think it might start all over again, but she just catches it.
Yeah, and she manages to get out a thanks.
Yeah.
It's like this tiny moment of grudging respect before she speeds off.
So what does this all mean? We have these two completely separate lines of investigation that just slammed into each other. They got the historical property data because they were polite and dressed up, uncovering the water corridor and that crucial loop. And then they got a direct line to the person who knows the secrets because Salvo pulled off a tactical, deeply annoying bunt.
And the combined power is what matters. They're not just guessing anymore. They have a physical location, the camper shell, pinpointed by the driving range and the farm loop. And they have a scheduled meeting with Sam, the person who knows about the map inside.
The quest has become real.
Completely. And I think the real value here is seeing how these wildly different sources, a legal map in an office and a game of chicken on a softball field, were both essential. They needed both to solve the mystery.
It's incredible. They had to trade a suit and tie for dirt and humiliation to get the full picture.
Which really makes you wonder. We know where the camper shell is now, and we know who holds the key to its secrets. But what was the bigger risk for them? The profound embarrassment of striking out in Dockers, or the intellectual risk of digging up a secret that rich developers and old property lines had kept hidden for decades? Something to think about as they head into that pizza meeting on Tuesday.